Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for January 21st, 2026. So we got Hinterlands and Nocturne. Oh boy, with Berserker. Oh boy. The thing about Berserker here, I will say, is there's almost nothing for it to gain. But alright, so we have essentially no trashing. Tracker or Sacred Grove could give Flames Gift, and that would be it. We have draw from Den, Stables, Crypt is effectively draw, and then Devil's Workshop can generate Imps. False alarm. Although Imp doesn't look great here. I've fallen into the Imp trap a couple of times recently when it wasn't that great, but here I would say it looks worse than in other cases because you can't trash the Devil's Workshop. In the other cases, I've at least been like, well, I could get it and then trash it, but here you can like Imp Stables and a Cartographer and a Terminal, and that's it. Oh, I guess I should say before I get into that, there's no plus actions either. That's important. Yeah, so but Imp for draw doesn't look very good, but it is draw. And then no plus actions, and then gains. We've got Berserker can gain stuff, Devil's Workshop can gain stuff. The Pouch has plus buy, Sacred Grove has plus buy, and then Cobbler can gain stuff. I think Cobbler looks pretty atrocious here. Berserker does not look great, as I said. I could see still wanting to play with it, and then I guess you just gain, mostly silvers just for the attack, but I don't know. I kind of don't believe, and maybe I would rather for my terminal to be Sacred Grove, or I mean, we do have the Pouch for plus buy, but in any case, it's probably the other thing is getting Berserker active, because do you open Tracker to do that? Probably not. So you're potentially taking Berserker a little later anyway. Yeah, I don't really love putting Tracker into the deck. So I think it's just double silver. Alright, I think we take Den here. We guarantee... I was going to say we guarantee we hit 5. We actually hit 6, but I mean, whatever. And then the question is, do we take another Den or do we take a Stables? I think it's just another Den. Well, that goes with the Stables. And another one. I think the goal here, I think, is going to be to get to, I guess, 10 and 2 buys or something like that. Just keep clicking on Den until we do, basically, and then at that point we look at taking Stables or Crypt, depending on how things are looking. That's my thought process. Hmm. So we could... I guess the problem with taking a crypt is we don't have... we set aside a bunch of money, then we're only going to be hitting like relatively small numbers for a while. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. I think I still want to just click on it on another 10. I still don't want the tracker. Almost. If we'd bottom decked one of the estates, we would have had double 5. 7 dens is pretty alright. I wouldn't actually mind one more silver. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Stables for sure. Oh, we only have 1 den in hand. Jeepers. So we have 3 dens in those 6 cards. Just go double stables. What we really want to do is get a crypt like the turn that we play a whole bunch of dens and we have a reasonable expectation of drawing into it. I think we go double stables here because we only have the 1 den in play. Oh my god. Alright, well, we did just take 2 stables. I think I'm fine taking another silver. This board is so sad. Like, there is a lot of draw. What are you doing? Come on, I thought we had agreed we weren't going to do this crap. Alright, do we trigger the shuffle here? We make 3 dens, miss the shuffle, and both stables, but it will be a short shuffle. Well, kind of. I mean, the answer is probably not, right? 10 cards, and then we draw 3 of them, and then we got 7 cards, so we get 2 dens into the rest of the shuffle. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense. I do not. We just take 1 more stables, or do we take that crypt? I mean, 3 dens is pretty good. I think I will take the crypt now. Like, we're about to trigger a clean shuffle. We got 3 dens. Is it going to get much better than that? Probably not. Okay, well, that kind of looks like a province to me. The other thing we need to think about is we've got 4 silvers in the deck, and then 6 coppers in a pouch. So if we set aside all of this, we have 2 coppers, the pouch, 1 silver, and then next turn we pick up a silver. Yeah, that's like a little light on money, but maybe that's fine. We plan to buy like the Sacred Grove that we talked about. We could also buy that now instead of the province. Yeah, maybe that makes more sense. Yeah. I, hmm. I have another stables down there. I kind of want... Discard pouch or silver. Oh, no, wait. We can... Well... Yeah, never mind. We're going to draw a lot of cards off of the dens anyway. There's no reason to do that. That's like almost a drawn deck. That is. Well, that wasn't especially useful. Okay, I wonder if we should just take the last stables while it's here. And I guess one more silver. And then maybe... the bot got more stables, we got more dens, but we've also got this crypt. And I'm thinking, or what I was going to say is, could also consider getting... And that is a drawn deck. We could also consider getting another crypt. There's 4 cards left on the crypt now. If we wanted to be able to double province, we'd need a bit more money. I mean, I guess the crypt will give us a bit more money coming into the next turn. So maybe... we do like province cartographer. We're not going to have as much draw this coming turn. So still might be a bit dicey on that front. Maybe it's better to just get the other crypt and set up for bigger turns later. Definitely see that. Although it might be, if we expect to be able to get the 4 den turn like next turn, or 4 dens down next turn, then that might be a better turn to pick up another crypt. Maybe we take a gold here. Yeah. Well, we did not get to the 4th den. But we do have a bunch of money. Province. I think I will go for like crypt, cartographer, or gold. I think cartographer. Alright, I really would like not to get Berserker attacked here, but I doubt that's going to be an option. Oh. Is an option. We just top deck. We could top deck Cartographer. Yeah, let's do that. Nice. All right, I guess I'll also take a duchy. And then question is, how much of this do we set aside? We definitely could over set aside at this point. I think I'm gonna not set aside the gold, but not the silvers. I mean, how many more turns do we expect there to be, right? That's the... But then, like, do we want the silvers left in the deck? I think the answer is yes. So I think we do it this way. All right, can we double province? Crypts are a little bit better this turn, so hopefully. Good job. Oh man, if we're going for double province, getting these dens out of the way is huge too. And we are. 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Actually, we're already there, but if we can get there without the Sacred Grove, that's maybe better anyway. Wait. What's down here? I was just going to play the stables just like on autopilot, but I mean, if we have our 16, is there any boon that we could get that would help the bot? Surely not. Like, to the point where, yeah, surely not. In terms of what's left down there, I mean, we could draw into like estates and stuff, so yeah, let's just... Yeah. So, what do I think about this? Den and stables are pretty similar in terms of how much draw they offer, because so in a deck that's being drawn every turn, stables is offering you draw every turn versus every other turn for den. But when that's not the case, then it kind of doesn't matter. The advantage that Den has over stables, aside from just like it gets online faster, is that one of the effects that stables has in a deck like this is you sift away from coppers and into green cards, because not like every time, but you have to discard a treasure. Presumably that will be copper, and then like if the cards that you're drawing are green cards, well, now you have essentially replaced your copper with your green. So it's not that's not great. That doesn't mean it's not worth doing, because you are increasing your hand size, and you could like discard a copper and draw like a copper, a silver, and an estate, and then you have not only gone through the estate, so you don't have to see it next turn, but you've also like increased your money by silver in that particular example. But it still does mean that the den draw is just like a little bit better from that perspective relative to stables draw in this particular case. So that's one thing where I think getting the dens is nice. The other thing, I think getting the crypt, or the crypts, I think is worthwhile. The timing on it is a little bit weird, and I don't know, maybe there's an argument for getting it sooner or whatever, but yeah, I think it definitely gives some more control, and also has as an added side benefit, like if you have a stables, like you know you're going to have a treasure with it. You can't have like a total stables dud that way. I mean, I would have happily taken more stables. Like obviously with only 3 stables, you know, we basically like the bot got 10 stables plus dens, and I got 10 stables plus dens. It's just like the distribution of them. But yeah, I mean, if I'd had more stables, then that would have been a more relevant consideration. But it's still good. The Berserker, I mean, the attack was like annoying more than 0 times, but I still think not actually good here, thankfully. The gaining silvers is definitely not bad on this board, but it's not like, it's not very impactful. I don't really think it's worth, like, you know, that's you can only play 1 terminal. I don't think it's really worth it for that purpose. Like I added a good number of silvers, but it's not like, oh man, I wish I could have added more. It's more like, well, and especially if you're not playing with the crypt, that's the other thing. The only reason I wanted to add as much silver as I did is because I was planning to play with crypt. Like if without crypt, I think then those silvers look a lot worse. Not like actively bad necessarily, but worse for sure. Yeah. So, but I mean, you know, mostly it's a pretty, yeah. There's not a lot that you can do of great interest in this kingdom. It's a pretty sad situation when you've got, you know, you got no trashing, you got no plus actions, and the draw is, there's a lot of it, but there's not, there's a lot of it, but there's also not a lot of it at the same time. Because it's all like, you know, sort of lab draw, which is, like there's a lot of it in the sense that there's 2 piles of it, but labs, like, you know, labs and lab variants, like they're good cards, but in general it's hard to like do a lot with that when that's your only draw and there's no trashing. It's a lot to get through all your starting cards with just lab draw. Anyway, and that's, I guess, why I also wanted to play with crypt. But anyway, so yeah, there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.